What's new at Charlie's? What's new at Charlie's? Still on Main.
Hi, welcome back to another edition of What's New at Charlie's. Well, this week we're going to go back to one of our old favorites. I think you know my good friend Mr. Don Williams, the Bourbon Fool. If you've been watching the videos, you realize that we're both obsessed with this Dickel Bottle de Bond. Probably one of our whiskeys of the year that we've had so far, right? Am I speaking for you here?
It's one of my favorites so far.
So we've been obsessed. I've got people looking for it. I've been trying to find it myself, and it is a fantastic drink. So anyway, we've done a couple videos about this and about some other things. So looking through my stash of all the bourbon I've collected for us to review, I found these two bourbons. They both have the exact mash bill of 84% corn, 8 rye, 8 malted barley, and they are from Tennessee. We can only assume
It is the same Dickel mash bill.
so. That's what we're hoping. We're going to be the same magic in a bottle that we found over here. So we're going to open these up. There's some differences. There's some things that aren't, obviously they're not exactly the same, but there's no reason to believe that they didn't come from the same place that our friend here did. So I don't know, you want to start with one or the other? What do you think? Which one you?
Well, what I think we need to do is we need to tell folks that these are not from the same company.
Nope.
These are two different companies.
Two completely different companies sourcing some bourbon.
Right. And the interesting thing is they both do pretty much the same thing. They source good bourbon. They market it under brands. And they both, the real interesting thing is going to be is that this one, the High and Wicked, the Honorable High and Wicked, is actually barrel aged for a while in Cabernet casks. So 4 months, I think, barrel finished.
Yep.
This one is not, and so that's going to be really interesting. But this one is a 16-year-old.
Where our Dickel is a 13-year-old.
13.
So it's 3 years older, or they've aged it 3 more years, or we don't really know. But, you know, we've talked many times on this show about sourcing bourbon. It's very common. A lot of people are doing it.
Happens all the time.
Happens all the time. So we just have to assume that these were sourced from our friends at Dickel, and they're going to be somewhere in the ballpark. So.
And this is really going to be a whiskey teaching lesson because we already know what the mash bill did to that 13-year-old, and we're now going to see what it does to a 16-year-old, and then what we're going to see how it affects with a Cabernet finish.
Yeah.
Really going to be interesting, and we'll let you know what we think.
Yeah, I think it's going to be cool. Like I said, I was pretty shocked when I just reading the bottles one day, and I'm like, oh wait, this is the same one. So is this. So that's why we want to do this video. They have nothing else in common other than the mash bill. So let's start with the one without the Cabernet, the Justice.
That's fine.
You know a little more about this bottle while I'm trying to get it open?
Yeah, so it's from a company that is Proof and Wood, and they market some different brands, and this one happens to be called the Justice. They also have one that's called the Senator, the Ambassador, and the Representative. So they all have a political theme to them, and you know, I think that they also bottle some other liquors from around the world, but this is their American whiskey.
Okay, all
This
right.
is their.
So this says this was distilled in 2003. Cheers. What's the proof on this, Don? I'm getting a little alcohol right off the top.
It's 102.
102, okay.
Wow.
Yeah. So, to me, it tastes exactly like I think it would.
Yeah.
You got the same sweet corn, you just got a little more oak.
Yeah, you got a lot more
A
wood.
lot more oak, yeah.
So what happens is the sweetness of the 13-year-old that we tried before, it now matures, and it's more of what I call a smoky sweetness.
Yeah.
A little bit more charred, a little bit more burnt.
Yeah.
That's just how I would explain it.
Yeah, no, I agree. Like I said, it's not the in-your-face sweetness of the Dickel, but it's definitely there, and there's definitely a lot more wood. Definitely a lot of oak to it. But
And the interesting thing is, almost every whiskey, American whiskey, bourbon or Tennessee, you get a lot of vanilla. The vanilla's almost gone on this.
yeah, yeah,
It's there's other flavors that have taken over, kind of a heavy syrup. It's just kind of interesting.
mm-hmm.
And it actually drinks, to me, stronger than 102.
It does, because the Dickel's bottled and bond, so it's 100 proof, so it's only 2 proof more. It's interesting that it does come off as a little stronger.
I think the wood makes it a little, let's call it harsher,
Yeah,
and I think that's what you're feeling there.
it makes sense. All right, let's get on to the Honorable High and Wicked here. Now this one's same stuff. We're gonna have a Cabernet finish on it.
Yeah, and there's an interesting background on this company.
Oh, yeah.
It's called Altamar. They're out of California.
Uh-huh.
And the founder, his last name is Brown. In fact, it's W.L. Lyons Brown.
Okay.
And he is a member of the Brown Forman family.
Whoa, whiskey royalty here.
And,
Yeah.
and worked for Brown Forman in some high-level positions.
Yeah.
And so now he has a company located in California that, again, does a lot of different things with different spirits. They do some things with rum. They're doing some, unique things. And this is his whiskey finished in Cabernet cask.
Does he have a wine background? Or
living
in California? Or
I know that they have some wine expertise on their staff,
okay.
but I really don't know how much deeper than that it goes.
Okay. Yeah.
But when you see the last name Brown in the whiskey world,
Like
it
I
gets
said,
your attention.
It's like finding a beam. It's like a beam or a brown in your whiskey thing. It's royalty. We know the proof on this one?
I want to say that it is. Oh, I'm trying to think.
It says a singular limited release.
I don't remember.
Yeah, I don't remember what it is either. And
It's on the label.
I have to say the printing on this it's a beautiful bottle, but it is not easy to read, or it's going to be not easy to photograph. So,
Yeah. 90 proof.
90 proof. Okay. All right.
and-
Once
and-
again,
And it's really a shame because it's really an attractive bottle.
Yeah.
But it is very hard to read.
it's very difficult.
It really is.
Maybe we're just old. Maybe we just can't see as well.
Could be.
Yeah.
So, again, I will tell you that I love the Dickel juice,
Yeah.
obviously. I like the original Bottle and Bond. I like this one. The cab almost takes away from that.
Yeah,
Just
a little bit. Yeah, it definitely puts a different.
So
Kind of covers up that sweet off
it
the
does.
front. Yeah.
It does. So it takes the sweetness away. It's still a very good drink, don't get me wrong.
Oh yeah.
But it neutralizes the sweetness, makes it more of a standard Tennessee whiskey.
Right. So people that don't like the sweet, maybe this is an option for them.
Right.
You're getting the same juice. So one observation here, now that you said that, this is a Tennessee whiskey. These are both classified as bourbons.
Yeah, because it still meets the classification. Tennessee whiskey, in most cases, is a Tennessee whiskey because they want to be in that category.
Right.
They still would qualify to be a bourbon because they're more than 51% corn.
Correct. Yes.
They use another grain. All the other things match the bourbon standards.
Yes.
So, Jack Daniels could be a bourbon if it wanted to be.
Right.
It stands alone in the Tennessee whiskey category, and George Dickel is a close second.
Absolutely.
And not close in sales, but close in being known.
Name
brand awareness.
recognition, of course. Yeah,
Right.
yeah. When you think Tennessee whiskey, those are the first two that come to mind.
Right.
So, sure.
So literally, same juice. They can call it a bourbon.
Yeah, I thought that was interesting. I almost forgot to mention that, but I thought it was interesting that you're taking the same juice that's here, and now they're bourbons, and these are still a Tennessee whiskey.
And
So,
again, it's an educational thing to understand that basically the category is it can go both ways.
Sure. Yeah.
As long as it meets the minimum standards for both.
right, exactly. Well, we found two nice new whiskeys here. I mean, you know,
Yeah.
I mean they both got a place on the bar here at Charlie's. Both worth a try to check out. Like I said, this one you do lose some of the sweetness. I prefer the sweetness. I prefer this one or this one, but this is also a fantastic drink. I would not argue with anyone with the last name of Brown.
That's true.
Yeah, so I'm gonna guess it's a fantastic whiskey. Got anything else for us today, bud? Or
No, I think that's
I think
it.
that covers it, huh?
And
Yeah.
ladies and gentlemen, if you want to get a real education about the same mash bill and how it works across 3 different whiskeys, this is a great group to sample, and you can see the effect of the aging versus the Cabernet cask
Yeah,
versus the sweetness.
yeah.
It's really a good combination.
Yeah, we should put maybe together a little sampler thing, platter. You can come here to Charlie's and get like a little drop of each and try them sometime. So maybe we'll work on that by the time this video comes out. So, but that is a great example of what time and does to whiskey. Yeah,
with the same mash bill.
with the same mash bill, same
Right.
stuff in the bottle. Crazy, but all
Charlie?
right, my friend.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Cheers. Thank you,
Cheers.
everyone.
Charlie's